Welcome to Mysteries and Crime. I'm your host, Melissa Thompson. If you haven't already, please click the subscribe button down below. I'd love to have you as part of our community. So the mystery keeps growing as to the disappearance of Heidi Planck, who is 39 years old. Information came out this past week that she had a boyfriend named Naeem Salam, who is 43, who lives in San Francisco. Now, he works for the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative as vice president for operations. And if you don't know what the Zuckerbergs are, Mark Zuckerberg is the face and owner of Facebook. So this guy had a very good job. He lived in San Francisco, but we know Heidi lived in the Los Angeles area. Now, according to Heidi's ex-husband, Jim Wayne, and we are going to go back to Jim Wayne in a little bit, so let's keep going. According to him, he said that Naeem was a really, really nice guy, that Heidi and him had a good relationship, but Heidi and Naeem had an argument a week before she went missing. And the argument was about how Heidi wanted Naeem to move closer to her in the Los Angeles area. But he said he couldn't because his job was in San Francisco. And I'm sure he really liked his job. He had a good position in this company, and to work for the founder of Facebook, I'm sure that, really, makes him feel good. His mother, Naeem's mother, met Heidi and said that she was a really lovely girl, a woman, and that they had a good relationship, and that Naeem said to her, he goes, "Oh no, I had no idea that Heidi was missing." He thought that she ghosted him over the argument that they had about him moving closer to her. Heidi's mom also has come forward. Her name is Suzanne Smeater, and she's 61 years old, and she lives in the Buffalo, New York area. She said that Heidi was making plans to go back home for Thanksgiving just 2 days before she vanished. She told her mother that she would be coming home. Her mother said that this is very unusual for Heidi to disappear without an explanation. In her last conversation with her daughter, Suzanne said she had no indication that there was anything wrong in her life. She said she was leaning toward her employment after she disappeared as one possible link that could explain her disappearance. Now, right now, we can name 4 main players in Heidi's life. Okay, we have her boyfriend, Naeem. We have her ex-husband, Jim. We have her boss, Jason Sugarman. And then we have his partner, who is serving 11 years in prison for securities fraud. Now, the federal government has decided not to go after Jason Sugarman as a criminal case. Instead, they are suing him for $9 million that he took and added to his own personal accounts, allegedly, so they could recoup the money. So he is not being charged criminally. There is an investigation, though, going on with the Securities Exchange Commission, because it is alleged that him and his partner stole $43 million from pension funds. So Heidi is the accountant, and she knows where all the money is going. So that is not good in this situation when you have a company that is in trouble and one of the partners has already gone to prison and the other one is being sued civilly, and he's also still being investigated by the federal government. So 2 days after Heidi disappeared, this came out this week as well, we find out the detectives put out the footage, surveillance footage of Jason Sugarman going to her home and delivering muffins at her doorstep, at her door. He rang the doorbell and he waited, and he kind of bends down and it seems to be looking around a little bit, and then he leaves the muffins and he drives off. So he was at her house there. Now, we do know that she went to the football game and she left during halftime. She told her ex-husband that she had to go, and he said that she seemed a bit edgy. And she was moving her seats around during that game. And I have to wonder if she thought somebody was watching her, or she knew somebody was watching her, somebody was following her, because she does know where all the skeletons are in this case with the money that is accumulating at Camden Capital Partners. She knows what money went where and when. So, of course, she's going to be a huge witness to the federal government in the Sugarman case. Now, also, Jim Planck has been talking a lot. He went on Nancy Grace with one of Heidi's friends. He said that he took her computer and he took her cell phone. Now, what they're saying is that the Apple iPhone was her personal phone. But according to her friend, she had two phones, one work phone and the personal phone. Jim Planck had the computer and the phone for over a week before he handed it over to law enforcement, which I was shocked when I heard that, honestly. According to Heidi's friend, she's the one that took the phone and gave it to Jim. And then he went into the home and took her computer, which I'm not really sure why, unless, he wanted to go through her computer and see what's going on. Now, I am not accusing him. I just find it really strange why he wouldn't have turned that over to law enforcement right away. I understand that he didn't want to turn it over to her boss, Jason Sugarman, because, with his alleged crimes, God knows what he was going to do with that computer. So now, apparently, they're saying the work phone is missing. That still hasn't been found. And her vehicle has not been found. Now, that is very strange to me. Like, where do you hide a vehicle? And everybody knows the plate number, and sure, they could have changed the license plate. But where is this vehicle? I mean, everybody now has seen this vehicle on the news, on social media. They know what it looks like. They know what Heidi looks like. So wherever her vehicle is, I think that holds a lot of answers. Now, also, we found out that her dog Seven, who she took with her on October 17th to her son Bond's football game, he was found on the 28th floor of the apartment complex that did not want to hand over footage of anything in their building or their parking structure until law enforcement got a warrant. So apparently, Seven was there for a week. A couple at the apartment complex was taking care of Seven, and eventually Jim looked at the chip that's in the dog and found out the location, and that's when we found where the dog is. Now, it had been reported that the dog was found 3 hours later on October 17th, the day Heidi went missing, but according to two of the apartment residents, they had the dog for a week taking care of it before Jim claimed the dog and got it. Now, also, Jim went to court this past week and he requested sole custody of their son. And he said the reason is that he needed to get his son into therapy and he needs help of all kinds, and that's why he needed full custody. I just don't understand why he couldn't do this while still maintaining 50-50 custody. I mean, it seems harsh to me. It seems very sad. She's missing, and then he takes sole custody of their son. What if she comes back and she finds that out? What if she's hiding because she's scared of what she knows? It could have been why she was switching her seats on October 17th all over, because she knows somebody's following her, or she fears somebody's following her and watching her. So he took full custody, and you know, he's putting a lot of blame on Camden Capital, and I understand why. There's a lot of mystery there at that company. Being the controller of the company, with all the money, like, she knows what employees have what at what time. She had to, in my opinion, know what was going on, that possibly that there was money being taken out of funds. So she probably was very, very scared about what was going on with Sugarman, because he has a father that is very influential. They have a lot of money. The Sugarman lives in a huge home in Northport Beach, California, and I'm sure they have access to a dream team of lawyers like O.J. Simpson. And she's this woman, single by herself, knowing these secrets, and she doesn't have the access to lawyers like these people do. And she had to be in fear. So I'm thinking, whatever happened after she left that place, if we knew where her car was, maybe we could get more answers to where Heidi is. And I'm kind of hoping that she is hiding, because then she can come back for her son. Her son is turning 11 this week. Now, Jim said that their son, Bond, just wants his mom to come home for his birthday. Jim said that Bond was doing okay until he saw a picture of himself and his mom together, and he just broke down completely. It was just horrific. So now we're looking for the business phone, the car, and Heidi. And I want to know if anything was erased from her personal phone and her computer. Apparently, the location tracking device was off on her Apple Watch, her phone, and her computer. Now, they do not know the specific date of when all the locations were taken off of her devices. So that's remaining a question. I probably understand that a law enforcement knows this, but they are holding that close to the vest. Now, law enforcement finally did get video footage of the apartment complex where Heidi's dog Seven was found. Now, they have not released that to the public. I'm sure that's a huge key to what's going on. Also, tomorrow marks 3 weeks that Heidi has been gone, and there is going to be a prayer vigil at the apartment complex where her dog was last seen. And that's going to be very hard for her son. And law enforcement wants anybody with any information to please call the Los Angeles Police Department's Missing Persons Unit at 213-996-1800, or during non-business hours or on weekends to put calls directly to 1-877-LAPD 24/7. And that would be 877-527-3247. Or you can also call 1-800-222-TIPS. This is an ongoing investigation, and we need to find out what happened to Heidi. I'm sure as the days go by, we're going to hear more and more information about what's going on in this case. Hope you are all having a beautiful week. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. Take a little time out for some self-care. I really appreciate all of you. Take care, you guys. Bye-bye.